Alright guys, what's good YouTube? Cardfight King here, AQUA Life Baby. You already know how it is. So, you guys wanted me to make a video about, a lot of people wanted me to make a video about Maelstrom and why I guess he's bad, he's not used in big tournaments and, you know, things like that. And, that's what we're doing today. So, first and foremost, I know I was excited for Maelstrom when he first came out, and I think that Lordly is a good card. I think that Engulf Maelstrom is a solid card in a way. But I think they're a bit outdated. More Engulf than Lordly in a way. So we're gonna go back a bit. When I made that video and said, hey, man, I'm excited for Maelstrom. Oh, man, this is going to be, what, you know, the OG is back, you know, all this other stuff. You know, man, I was excited. I didn't think that we were going to get Thavas support. I knew we were getting Blue Wave Vallejo support. So I thought that, hey, they're only going to support Maelstrom and Vallejo's. Maybe Leon came back. You know, Jaime went back to Europe, whatever, to do what he needed to do. And Leon came back with Maelstrom, gonna go fight against Vallejo's and all that other good jazz. I was like, hey, shoot, that's gonna be a pretty nice plot right there. But that wasn't the case. We got Thavas support, and Thavas support is beyond great. It's fantastic. I have not missed a top in a tournament with the deck. I'm extremely happy with the Thavas support. It's too smooth. When it comes to Maelstrom, first things first, because I don't want this to be like a super long stretched out video in a way. First things first, it's the quantity of players. The deck does not have a large quantity of players. Let's just get that out the way down. It does not have a large quantity of players. Yes, you know, and I know you behind you behind the screen is going to be saying, "Oh man, I play Maelstrom," you know, things like that. It's like, okay, great. We're 1 out of 60 people that's going to take Maelstrom to a tournament. And when I say tournament, I don't mean like a local, a local tournament, you know, laid back, you know, not really trying to win or anything, you know, more like I'm just testing stuff out or anything like that. Unless you're like PPG or something and have like a really competitive scene and whatnot. I'm talking about like an ARG. I'm talking about a BCS, a shop qualifier, a Dynasty Cup, something like that. You know, where you have people to do a little bit of traveling. You have people who are more serious, who are going to be playing more meta decks, like, you know, like Gridora and Chaos and things of Overlord, Thavas, and things of that nature. You probably will still take it. You alone. But a large quantity of players won't. When I've been to our Dynasty Cups recently, which have been one here in Virginia, one out in Virginia because I live in Maryland, one out in Virginia, and then we had one in PA, Pennsylvania. They were about 46 plus players. Not a soul was playing Maelstrom. I look at the top list. You know, Maelstrom is not on any of the top lists, you know, in other tournaments. You know, I saw a breakdown of a few other tournaments. The AquaForce decks being played is either Blue Waves or Thavas. No one's really playing Maelstrom in these bigger tournaments that have better prize support, better payouts, and things like that. A lot of times, because as a player, you recognize that the deck is just lacking in so many things, especially against how the meta is shaping up, you know, and what it currently is. So there's that. It doesn't have a lot of people who play the deck, one, so you're not going to see a lot of a turnout. Two, in reaction to the meta, we're going to get to that in a second. The deck's rear guards, not really good. A lot of them are just beat sticks in a way. See here, I've pulled up the new one we have, which is like basically the only relevant Blue Storm card that we got. Elder Moss. He is an on-play skill where you can reveal a card from your hand, and if that card nor your Vanguard is a Maelstrom, he loses 5,000. Well, oops, we gotta have a Maelstrom Vanguard. But I mean, he's a 10K grade 2, and you know we're starting to get these in the game now, so that's not too bad. But his other ability is you counterblast 1. You choose a card with Maelstrom in his card name from your drop zone. You put it into your soul, and until the end of turn, this card can attack from the back row, and he gets plus 4,000. So that's pretty nice. He's a 14K attacker that can attack from the back row. And it's a once per turn ability, so you can keep in the back row, counterblast, throw a Maelstrom to soul. That fuels Engulf Maelstrom, which is pretty nice in a way. But he's really the only thing we have, you know, outside of cards like, you know, we have Theta, we have Rascal Sweeper, and things like that. You know, we didn't get any impactful, heavily impactful rear guards. And what I mean by heavily impactful rear guards, I'm talking about something like Cipla. And it's actually going to carry me into my next topic, which is the deck has no defense and no self-sustaining method against control, which is really what the meta is kind of shaping out to be. Ghidorah, you have Chaos, you got Overlord, you're going to even have Shadow Paladins who can control you, you know. Even Genesis are getting some type of control. Royals have, you know, the Exceed and Blade. You know, not saying that those are like fast forms of controls, but control is control in a way. But they're selective control. This deck has no defense against what the meta is, what it's probably going to be. You know, again, like I said, they don't have cards like Cipla. Why is Cipla amazing? And I'm going to talk about her in damn near every video because she is such a good card. The thing that I love the most about her is the fact that she is a permanent 11K. Having her be a permanent 11K means that attacks that are 10K or less, she cannot get poked out by unboosted columns. Unless your opponent has like a 12K or an 11K attacker themselves. She also gains resist. And this is all while you have a Thavas Vanguard, but you're always going to have a Thavas Vanguard. She has resist. And that means that Denial Griffin, which is again one of the better decks one of the better decks in the game, Overlord, one of the most popular decks, fantastic. It rejects Denial Griffin, so she can't get Denial Griffin. That's amazing. You have to block her. She also gets around Header Around, which is, you know, for Gear Chronicles, ZTB, and things like that. And Gear Chronicles are about to get kind of stupid, too. Again, I mean, they're already a fantastic deck, but, you know, their new support is probably going to be just nuts, too. So, you have a way around their defensive interactive G-Guardian. Because she has those two skills. The icing on the cake is, and you know, the cake tastes real good. And then you have a little icing on the cake, 2nd through 4th wave, she can draw a card for a counterblast. Okay, great. That's just one example of a lot of different rear guards and abilities that Thavas can give you to counter different types of control methods and still be very effective in your attack patterns. Elder Moss cannot, again, like I said, we have Ghidorah, we have Overlord, we have Chaos, things like that. Elder Moss can't stop from getting controlled. Theta, Rascal Sweeper, Tidal Assault, they can't. I'm not going to go into why Alexandros is because I've told you this. Alexandros, yes, he is the best card in Aqua Force in a way. He elevates the play of every other card in Aqua Force, being able to, make trash columns into powerful ones. You just do boop, boop, 2 attacks, attack with him, restand those 2 cards, they get power for as many face-up units are in your G-Zone. That can be game-ending in itself. It's just that good. And you play Alexandros in every Aqua Force deck, so I'm not going to really include him because I know what you can do with him. You know what he brings. You know how much power he has. But the deck, getting back into it, the deck has no way around control. It's a decent deck, but it just doesn't have a way around getting controlled, getting blown up. It doesn't have an innate draw engine to where you're going to draw. Now, yes, I know we have Lordly Maelstrom. Let's go read Lordly Maelstrom because he's kind of a nice card too. When you counterblast one on Stride, when you junior it with Maelstrom in its original card named Strides. Now, that's also a problem to me, meaning that yes, we want to Stride engulf Maelstrom, but if we're going to be striding Alexandros, who is the best card in Aqua Force, you're not going to be able to get this ability. You choose a card from your drop zone, put it into your soul, choose it to one card with Blue Storm in its card name from your hand, call to rearguard circle, and until the end of turn, it gets auto rearguard at the end of the battle that's unit attack stand that you did. So he does create an extra attack for you, which is fantastic in itself. It's GB2 ability. You counterblast one at the end of your turn that you attacked 4 more times this turn. Pay the cost. If you do, you draw a card. Your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards and retires it. So, so it's literally just a guaranteed old school grade 3 Maelstrom at GB2 for 1 counterblast. Okay, nice in a way. Well, you don't get to choose what you're killing off your opponent's board, which is big difference too. You don't get to choose what you're killing off your opponent's board. You do get to draw 1 card for a counterblast, but that's it. Like I said, it doesn't give you any resistance against controlling methods or anything like that. The deck's also focus is to soul charge your Maelstroms, which means that now and the deck does have cards like Mario's or whatever to search them out, but you need to be able to search them out, get them to your hand, either keep rewriting and then striding and then putting them in there, or stride and then throw them into the soul with Elder Moss and Lordly. But if you're going to throw into the soul with Lordly, that means you have to stride a Maelstrom. And generally, in a way, the point is to get out, engulf Maelstrom, 4th time only, so it has to be the 4th battle. Your opponent cannot call cards from his hand or G-Zone to Guardian Circle with grade less than the number of cards with Maelstrom in their card names in your soul during the battle as you're attacked, and you flip it. In his act ability is you flip a card face up. If you have 2 or more cards with Maelstrom in their card name and their G-Zone face up, he gets 5,000 in an extra critical. So he'll be a vanilla 31k with a critical. But then he does have a potential to do guard manipulation. That's great. That's pretty cool. The deck requires setup. And it's not like you're playing Dark Irregulars where you're sitting there soul charging like a mug. No. You have to first find your Maelstroms. Then you have to find a way to put them into the soul. And yes, you can probably see, hopefully you draw into your Elder Masters so you can, drop them, counterblast, soul charge 1. You can guard with your grade 3s if you want to get them to the drop zone, so then you can do that. You can reride them. There are ways, I guess, of filling up your soul with Maelstroms, but that takes a lot, and a lot of the decks that you're playing against, like I said, it doesn't have like innate draw power and resistance to control. So one, you're going to need to put rear guards on board to be able to attack with, and if your board is getting cleared or controlled, then that 4th wave's not really going to happen. 2, Alexandros really does work well with Elder Moss, because Elder Moss does have an ability to be able to attack from the back row, which is great and which can help you in control matches. But that card can easily get controlled too, so it's not like Sipla where she's going to swing 11k from the back row, but she can't get controlled. Yes, that card can get stunned, locked, blown up, things like that. So you do have that, but then the deck asks you to set up, and a lot of time you're searching out grade 3s. But you see other decks, Shadow Paladins in a sense. You have Gridora, you have Thavas, you have Overlord, things like that can put on immense amount of pressures. Overlord has cards like Nahalem and Burning Heart Evolute and things like that. They can definitely put on some power. They can just call out a few cards, push out a field, and call out and pressure your hand. If you're sitting there with your hand with all these grade 3s, and trust me, and I've tested this I have tested this. I do have a Maelstrom deck thanks to my boy Jacob, who who sent me these Maelstrom cards so I can put the deck together and whatnot. But you know, with all these other decks that are pressuring you with things like that, do you have enough guard? All searching out all these grade 3s is cool and all to reach what you kind of want to do in your end game, but you know, when you look at the flip side of it, are you putting on enough pressure on your opponent? Do you have to commit more things early game in a way just to put on pressure? Because you know, once you get into striding, your opponent's deck, which is, and I'm thinking of the better decks in the game, puts on more pressure, builds up a bigger hand, has much better defense against what you want to do, and also you know, has extensive control methods to keep you limited. You know, does your opponent have that? And can you put on enough pressure to force your opponent into that game? Can you set up your initial win condition of Engulf Maelstrom? Or are you going to be, or is the deck going to be relying, once again, like most decks, whatever it is, are they going to be relying and leaning on Alexandros to carry them throughout a game to the finish line? So those are a lot of the things that, you know, when you're thinking about playing Maelstrom, that you have to go for. And to be honest, again, if you gave someone a choice, would you take Maelstrom to a tournament? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, "Well, hell no, I'm not going to take Maelstrom to a tournament." You know, if I have the option of playing, you know, Thavas or even Blue Ways, which is second fiddle in a way, then they would probably choose to play that. Not saying that if you're a Maelstrom ride to die player, if you are a you know, and that's your favorite deck, and that's something that you want to keep playing, keep working on, by all means go ahead. But you know, as a competitive player and whatnot, you know, you recognize that the deck has so many different faults. The attack pattern is old school. I'm not going to get into it. You already know self-protection method. The attack pattern is a little bit old school. The deck, everything works with Alexandros, but sometimes the deck and its patterns and whatnot just doesn't really work out for everybody else. Maelstrom on stride scale only works with the Maelstrom card, so you have to decide if you want to be able to soul charge with Maelstrom to power up Engulf, or stride to Alexandros and try and force at least some pressure on your opponent. You will rely on Elder Moss to soul charge a Overlord and be on the field for the backward attack, even though it's a counterblast. So the deck will have the deck is not like it was back in 2015. You know, now it has a little bit better cards, but more expensive. Everything's going to be costing a counterblast here and there now. So the deck, to me, just has too many faults to warrant it to be a contender in the meta. We are nearing the end of the G era. I don't know what's going to happen come forth. Maybe Maelstrom might see some play in certain facets, depending on what comes out. Never know, don't think so, highly doubt it, unless they try and reverberate Maelstrom and like completely redo Blue Wave subclan, whatever it is. I just feel like again, Maelstrom is just, honestly, as a competitive player, not a great choice for tournaments. The support that we got for Maelstrom, despite how good Lordly is, and I think Lordly is a pretty nice card, and Golf is nice, but needs a lot of setup and whatnot. Elder Moss is a nice addition to the deck. That type of support, I feel, should have come out in 2015 when we had the clan booster, instead of us getting a stupid-ass break ride. We should have got this type of support. And because we didn't, the deck has just faltered and has just lacked. And it's like, look, I'm ready to let Maelstrom go. I'm just ready to let him go, let him be. He's just there. He's like, a meme AquaForce deck in a way. Not really meme AquaForce deck, but, he's just a deck that, you're just going to sit there and either teach people with, because I'll use Maelstrom to help teach people the game with, or teach people kind of AquaForce in a way, but it's not a deck that's super hard to beat, or a deck that's super hard to really play. But I would not use Maelstrom in a tournament that I pay to play in. That's that there's some good prize support, that there's serious players, that there's meta, and even at locals, I would be hesitant to really pick it up to play it there. I would just play it more or less in free time, in a way. Just say, I'll just play Maelstrom, unless someone's trying to test out their meta deck, see how they're gonna do against certain things. Then I won't play that deck. I'll play something else. But if it's like just a super casual for funsies games, which I rarely have any of, not that I'm complaining about it, because I play competitively. It is what it is. But That's the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, Maelstrom. I'll have a deck profile for you guys either later on this week or sometime next week. I'm actually going to be really busy with things for school, so and I'm playing Dragon Ball Fighters because I want to play, because we have a tournament coming up for that, so I want to definitely lab and play and things like that. So yeah. All right, Cardfight King, we out. AQUA Life Baby.